Here's your wrestling news for October 13th, 2020. And your headlines for today include: Lana becomes #1 contender for WWE Raw Women's title. WWE draft picks for Round 7 revealed after Raw. Why WWE changed plans for Roman Reigns and Jey Uso. An update on Finn Balor's injury. Paige catches the attention of CM Punk after her latest call-out, takes shot at WWE in the process. Why Sami Zayn is angry at WWE now. Ricochet pulls off excellent tribute to Eddie Guerrero this week on WWE Raw. WWE planting seeds for 2 major returns. Drew McIntyre responds to Grandpa Wade Barrett's call-out. Vince McMahon still a supporter of Lars Sullivan backstage in WWE, and more. We're kicking off with Raw news as the dual-branded Battle Royal to determine Raw Women's Champion Asuka's next challenger resulted in an unlikely winner. When the match came down to Natalya, Lacey Evans, Ruby Riott, and Liv Morgan, the Riott Squad were both eliminated at the same time before Natalya eliminated Evans to get the win. Or that's what she thought, as earlier in the match, Lana was once again thrown through the announcer's table by Nia Jax, but hadn't been eliminated from the match. Returning to eliminate her best friend, Lana was the ultimate winner of the Battle Royal and earned a title match against Asuka at a later date. It's unclear when this match will take place, though we wonder whether there's anyone who actually thinks there's a chance that Lana dethrones Asuka when the two collide. Regardless, this match will take place, and we'll have to see if the Ravishing Russian is ready for the Empress of Tomorrow. This week's Raw also saw 6 more rounds of the 2020 draft, and though some were still undrafted after the show, they've now been dealt with. In a 7th round draft, which if you include SmackDown and Talking Smack is the 12th round overall, Raw selected Lana, Riddick Moss, and Arturo Ruas, the latter of whom is being called up from NXT. With their 2 picks, SmackDown invest in the women's division, choosing the Riott Squad and Natalya, meaning that Lana and Natalya's teaming is over, and now they're on separate brands. Off-camera, Shorty G was drafted to SmackDown, whilst Gran Metalik and Lince Dorado were moved from the Blue brand to Raw, and we'll have to see how everyone fares on their new shows. We're entering the Thunderdome next, as though WWE has been trying to get back to full-capacity venues, they'll now have to wait even longer. The company's original deal with Orlando's Amway Center was meant to keep the company there until the end of October, but according to PW Insider, a new deal will keep Raw and SmackDown there for at least another 4 weeks. That means that WWE will be leaving the Thunderdome at the end of November at the earliest, and this comes after the company moved Hell in a Cell from November to October 25th so that it could happen in the Amway Center. WWE may be staying even longer, however, as Brian Alvarez said on Wrestling Observer Live that the company plans to stay in the Amway Center until at least January, though that hasn't been confirmed by WWE. He also speculated on the Amway Center allowing a small amount of fans into tapings, similar to the Capitol Wrestling Center with NXT, though the current deal with the Thunderdome doesn't permit live fans. For now, though, it looks like Survivor Series will also take place in the virtual fan environment unless something major changes, and time will tell when the company will be able to get out of the Thunderdome. Over to SmackDown now, and Jey Uso's main event push shocked fans from the start, but according to the man himself, the story that's unfolded has made perfect sense. Whilst speaking to Peter Rosenberg, Jey said that the original plan was for just 1 match, but the response from his and Roman Reigns' Clash of Champions bout changed that plan. He said, "This was a one and done, supposed to be. They were like, this shit is fire right here, bro. I think I was just to get Roman to the next homie, but man, you see the storytelling, this is real. The feeling's right there. The promo's right there. If you watch the match back, the match was basic. What grooved is the damn story, and that is the main thing. We showing you real emotion, we showing you feeling. You can put The Fiend with Roman, you can put Seth Rollins with Roman, whoever, whatever top guy they got, put him with Roman. I guarantee you, Oos, they didn't pull out emotion. They didn't pull out real feeling. They didn't pull out storytelling the way me and Oos did that thing. Tell me you didn't feel like you were watching a damn movie. You forgot you were watching wrestling. When I watched it back, I was watching that thing like I wasn't in it. I was like, man, this is good. This is my best work." According to previous reports, the original plan was for Bray Wyatt and Roman Reigns, but Uso's program and the organic reaction from the crowd caused WWE to go another direction. Now Wyatt is on Raw, whilst Uso will face the Tribal Chief in an I Quit Hell in a Cell match, and after his plucky performance in their last match, we are not sure if anyone can make Jey Uso say those two words. NXT next, as Finn Balor has had surgery on the broken jaw that he suffered while successfully defending his NXT title at TakeOver 31. Though it was previously believed that his jaw wasn't too much to worry about, it's clearly a big enough injury to have surgery, and on Instagram, the champ revealed he had surgery last Friday. Balor explained that 4 plates were screwed in to fixate the fractures for a quick recovery, and that after a tooth was removed, his jaw was temporarily wired shut to help things align. Hopefully, Balor will be able to return in time so that NXT doesn't need to vacate their top title again, though at this time, there's no timetable for when the Prince of NXT will be back. Now, it's no secret that plenty of wrestlers will feud with each other on social media rather than the ring, but one feud we didn't see coming this year was between Paige and CM Punk. When WWE tweeted a video from Hell in a Cell 2014 pitting Paige against AJ Lee, the British superstar laid out the challenge for a rematch, telling Lee to lace up those chucks. This post caught the attention of Punk, AJ's husband, who replied with a tweet of a GIF that simply spelled, "Oh boy." Paige fired back to the former WWE champion with a tweet of her own, which also took a shot at the company, saying that she'd used a roll-up, the hallmark of Divas matches for years in WWE, to beat AJ, and that she'd be on a flight home to Punk the very same day. It's very unlikely that Paige and AJ will cross paths in the ring again, given their retirements in 2018 and 2015 respectively, but at least now we get better finishes to women's matches other than a roll-up out of nowhere. Back to the present, and though the WWE draft was meant to shake things up in WWE, some of the picks left a lot to be desired. On Raw, Sami Zayn was picked by SmackDown, which is a huge win for the Blue brand as he's the Intercontinental Champion, though it's hard to ignore that this champ was the 17th pick on Night 2 of the draft and the 42nd pick overall. Having Zayn and the IC title solo is both an insult to the superstar and the historic title, and on Twitter, the self-proclaimed most complete pro wrestler on earth shared his disgust at being a Night 2 Round 4 draft pick. Zayn added that he's not even surprised, saying the company thinks little of his honesty and integrity, whilst Kevin Owens sent his best friend a gif of them hugging as he's also heading to SmackDown. It'll be interesting to see if the two friends reunite on the Blue brand, but one thing we know is that Zayn is rightly ticked off at his low pick. We are focusing on Vice's Dark Side of the Ring next, as the first 2 seasons dove into some of the most infamous stories of wrestling's past, and it looks like we'll get more. Whilst Season 3 hasn't been officially announced yet, it's looking likely given the success of Seasons 1 and 2. And according to PW Insider, there's been interviews conducted for a Grizzly Smith episode, which will also focus on his children, Rockin' Robin, Sam Houston, and Jake the Snake Roberts. On his 83 Weeks podcast, Eric Bischoff added that there's also plans for a Brian Pillman documentary focusing on the life of the loose cannon before his sad passing in 1997, the same day he was meant to compete at Bad Blood. There's no shortage of seedy stories from wrestling's underbelly, and it'll be interesting to see what topics are covered in Season 3 of Dark Side of the Ring. Back to Raw, and given the huge stipulation that if Ricochet lost his match to Cedric Alexander, he'd have to join the Hurt Business, it shouldn't be too surprising that the one and only pulled out everything to win. Using a chair tossed into the ring by MVP meant for Cedric Alexander, Ricochet slammed the chair into the mat before handing it to his opponent and faking an injury, leaving the unsuspecting ref to disqualify Alexander, believing he'd hit Ricochet with the weapon. Given that Eddie Guerrero would have turned 53 this week, it was a nice tribute to the Hall of Famer, and since Ricochet won, the Hurt Business will have to stay out of the one and only's affairs from now on. Now, with the WWE 2020 draft in the past, there's been plenty of surprises, but one superstar may soon shock everyone by returning to the ring. According to Wade Keller, Eva Marie is set to return imminently after leaving the company in 2017, though it's unknown which brand she'll be on. The former All Red Everything isn't the only woman set to return though, as we've previously reported that Melina may soon come back to the company, and whilst she's denied reports, WWE recently teased a comeback. On Twitter, fans picked up on the WWE Network Twitter account sharing a video of Melina's 2009 return where she became Divas Champion, and even tagged her in the post, a notable move considering Miro's pointed out that WWE doesn't tag wrestlers they don't want. This post was even shared by WWE's official account, which is just as interesting, and we'll have to see if and when both Eva Marie and Melina return and what brands they'll be on. From Twitter to YouTube now, as after the WWE's official account was registered on May 10, 2007, the company reached over 50 billion views this week, thanks in part to their 67.6 million subscribers. As WWE pointed out on a write-up of this achievement, that's 6 views for every single person on the planet, and whilst that's clearly a lot of views, they're probably not coming from a pool that large, given the recent struggling figures for Raw and SmackDown. Regardless, this is still a huge achievement, and fans have plenty of content to watch on the channel with a 13-year library of videos. One person fans can see plenty of on the channel is Wade Barrett, and the NXT commentator recently teased an in-ring return, saying that WWE Champion Drew McIntyre knows he's capable of destroying him. Now the champ has hit back, referring to Barrett as a grandpa, and advised Wade to stay behind the desk, saying that a Barrett stand-in has a better chance of dethroning the champ. A Barrett-McIntyre match is something fans have wanted to see for a while, and even if WWE doesn't have any plans at this moment, both men have no problem teasing the dream contest for some point down the line. Now, earlier this year, fans launched the Naomi Deserves Better campaign after the woeful booking of the former SmackDown Women's Champion, but according to Jazz, that campaign could spread to all African-American women in WWE. Speaking to Ring the Bell, the recently retired Jazz spoke about WWE's treatment of stars like Naomi and Bianca Belair, saying, "I just don't think they're given a fair chance. Naomi, I believe she deserves to be treated better. Sasha, right now, she's kind of being taken care of in a sense, but there's a few more, Bianca. I think she can kick everybody's on the main roster. Will she ever have the opportunity? Will they ever give her that opportunity? I don't know." Belair recently returned with a series of vignettes promoting her as the EST of WWE, and with her trade to SmackDown, hopefully she, Naomi, and Sasha, the latter of whom will be entering her third Hell in a Cell match this month, will get the treatment they deserve in WWE. And we're ending today with Lars Sullivan news, as despite the most recent controversy of him sending inappropriate messages to a married woman, the Freak still has some fans backstage. Whilst WrestleVotes is reporting that Sullivan doesn't have many supporters left, one person high on him is Vince McMahon, who's ultimately the only person he needs on his side. Sullivan was drafted to SmackDown during Night 2, and whilst he might not have many work friends left, it looks like the company have no plans to stop his push, with a huge match against Jeff Hardy planned for this week on SmackDown.